We're gonna say hi. Hello. Killed it. You can't hear it, but he's there. Silent Ben.
From the bottom, rising up, the elevation, I feel the rush.
It's a very obnoxious morning toy. Want some breakfast? Okay, let's burn. Always first in line. Good morning. It's time for another one of those early morning attractive videos. I gotta stop doing this. Solino. Hey, Bubba. Just like a moment. Oi. Can you tell they hate this food? Just hate it. Hello. Did you want to get in on this breakfast situation? This is pretty typical. So, today's actually a really fun day. You guys saw the video I did on a typical boring day in my life. It looks like this. I would recommend you guys watch that if you want to see what my day-to-day actually looks like. But today's kind of a special day, and I thought this could be like an interesting video too. Today, I have an in-person callback. I've had maybe 3 of those since COVID. So to get to do one today is great. It's at 200 South La Brea, which if you're familiar with the LA commercial scene, it's like the conglomerate of casting offices. When I first got to LA, I would go to 200 South La Brea like once or twice a week. I was there all the time. And I haven't been there in probably 4 years. Yeah. Because my commercial agent before the pandemic was not as awesome as my current commercial agent is for me. So I get to go to an in-person callback, which is great. This in-person callback also has some very interesting details involved, which I will go into a little bit later because we might have to cut this out for privacy reasons or whatever for the audition. But I then get to go to SAG to be on their podcast, which is even more exciting. So it's like such an honor to be invited, and I'm thrilled. It feels like imposter feelings, like they want me. I don't really. Did you see my boring day video? Like my life is pretty fucking boring. But they want to talk about, you know, how I made my podcast SAG, survival as an actor, and all that stuff. And I was like, well, that stuff I definitely know for sure. So yeah, in-person callback and then in-person podcast with SAG. And then I have to run a few errands and come home and go to therapy. We're sensing a theme. And then I'll probably work out later tonight because I don't have time to do it this morning. Let's get rolling with the day, shall we? What do you think? Grandmother? Thank you. Alexa, play classical piano.
Classical piano from South
So, kind of getting ready. Oof. There's one zit right there. But if you see, you can't see it in this light, you can just see it if the light hits it. So, what a joy to go back to fluorescent lighting and see how little control I have. The day I auditioned for this thing that I have a callback for today, this commercial, the night before I had something I did with pin curls in my hair. So my hair was a little curlier on the ends. As you can see, this side I curled yesterday, so it's like just what I took down with a big thick roller, like a big thick barrel. And then this side, just to give it a little bit more of what it looked like when I went in, I'm taking a smaller barrel Like I said, not a hair and makeup artist, so, you know, utilize suggestion, not technique. And I'm just curling the tip of it, so we just get like the insinuation of what it looked like the day after the curls, and then I'm just pulling it a little bit. So it just cohesively makes it look a little better. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I am probably not really gonna do the back of my hair. Just a little bit, just because I had it thicker barrel curled yesterday, so there is kind of already the insinuation of the curl on it. Just like pull down on it a little bit. I also will tell you, I have very resilient hair. So this like curl that's left in it from yesterday, I know that not everyone can have curl left over from a day before from sleeping with their hair in a clip. So I'm well aware of my pretty easy hair privilege. Okay, so just let that flow out. I also have a meeting that I have to do in about an hour. So in order to take this meeting about the podcast, about my podcast, and be on time for this audition and not stressed, I'm going to go to the audition early, set up at the coffee shop next door, and take my meeting there. So that way it's all copacetic. And then the stupid things that you forget about that are annoying when you have an in-person audition, like parking, can just be done in advance, right? So I don't have to, it's like one less thing to worry about. Also, please note as I do this, there's no consistency in the chunks of hair that I'm curling. It's just kind of random. See, like, just kind of getting just a rough cohesion. Also, there's a chance that I'll just have to pull my hair back for this audition anyway. See, this is a big chunk of hair, but I'm just gonna curl the end. Okay, so now that'll fall out. So we just have, and then this is everything that's left of my hair. I think, could I just leave that? I think I might be able to just leave that. Let's check. Because when I film at home, most of the time I don't do the back of my hair. But this is in person. It looks a little weird, so we'll add a couple extras in here. Just a little highlight, and try not to burn myself. Also, some of these non-curled pieces just look longer than the others, which does my hairdresser no service. This is what we call a cheap and dirty hairstyle. Like, how little can I get away with? Like I said, if this was a self-tape or a Zoom callback, I probably would not even be curling these back pieces because you ain't never gonna see them. And if you do, it doesn't have enough time to register as like, her back hair isn't very curly. Like, they don't give a shit. No one cares. It's like, are you good for this job? It's not a hair commercial, if you can't tell. It's not the subject of this job. If it was, I'd be taking a lot more time and probably like smoothing this out and all that good stuff. I feel like this, do as I say, not as I do. Like, pretend you haven't done this before though. Easy makeup. First of all, let's turn this guy off. Do not need to burn ourselves. It's shocking how often I do not burn myself. So I already have on this. I did a photo shoot for Yensa and they gave me some of their products. This is all I wear anymore. This is basically the foundation that I have on. This is just, I just put it right here, right here, right here, right here, and right here. Put a little extra over that zit that you can kind of still see. And then I put this, which is Hourglass. this is a little too light technically, so I just use it to brighten up my eyes. So I just put it right in here. Just put a tiny little dot because it has so much pigment, and then I just blend it right through here. So I just look like alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. So these two are already on my face. I started with the Photo Finish primer because I have to go to a taping for the SAG podcast after this audition. So I would like my makeup to not crease. And this puppy is the Jam Sesh. Also, this is nice to put on after you've put on something like sunscreen, because sunscreen can be kind of shiny, and this stuff will just, this Smashbox Photo Finish will just smooth it out. Now, I have very little understanding of makeup overall, but I just play until I like what I see. Luckily, this is an audition I already did, so I can just mimic the exact makeup I did on that day. Since that is done, we're gonna do eyebrows next. I use the Anastasia brow powder. You can see my eyebrows kind of like stop right here. There's just not really a lot going on the back end. They're so thin, I don't even pluck them. They just grew up in the 90s, and this is my repercussions. So I use this to fill those in. I will then go on top of them with this brow gel. This stuff's intense, but if you have roughly no brow hairs, but the ones you do grow downward like mine does, this is essentially hair gel for eyebrows, and I love it. So we'll do those two. And then for blush, I've been really into, this is a brand called Flower. I bought this at the drugstore for a little like cheek tint. And then I will go over it with the NARS Orgasm Classic, because I think layering colors is nice for blush, because on camera, you always look like you don't have any blush on, almost always. So I'll do those two. I'll come in with a little bit of this Hoola bronzer. You can tell it's the most used thing on this palette. Oh, wait, did you see that? Clearly, I am so good at makeup and taking care of products. So I'll do that. I'll line the inside of my eyes with a very subtle liner and smudge it. I'm just telling you this so that I don't have to do it all on camera. This is the Urban Decay liner 24/7. So I'll do the inside of my eye and a little bit on the top. And then I'll use the best mascara of all time, which is the L'Oreal Telescopic. I am not sponsored by any of these brands, but I'm super, super open to it. This mascara is so great. I have very little eyelashes and they're kind of blonde. And this brush is very, very small, and she just works like a dreamboat. I have bought this mascara in bulk from Amazon, and I just love it so much. And I'll link all of this down below in my Amazon shop if you guys are curious. And then lastly, I'm gonna put some of this Kors, K-O-R-R-E-S Wild Rose Salve on my lips. I like this color because it's not super shiny. It just adds like a pop of color to your lips. Every once in a while, I'll also dab a little bit on my fingers and add to my blush. But we're already doing 2 blush colors, which is already a lot. And then last but not least, Laura Mercier pressed powder, because if you're gonna be on camera, I'm sorry, but the dewy look just doesn't really cut it like it does in real life. That's what highlighter is for. So I will tap some of this all over my face to get rid of the dew and the shininess. Dun, 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 dun. All that product to look natural. So I'm gonna bring a second set of earrings, because these are like my Midwestern nice girl pearls, and I will be going to the SAG offices afterwards, and I'd like to look like myself. I'm gonna put a little bit of Verb oil just in the tips of this hair, smooth it out, and then a little bit in the top. It's gonna be so funny when they ask me to put it in the ponytail at this audition. I did all this work. Whatever. It's also for the podcast. And just to generally feel like a beautiful lady. It's not true. I feel great all the time. I don't need all this makeup. But we do what we gotta do. That's a little crimpy, but we simply don't have time to care. So these curls will start to fall a tiny bit, but see, I'm not mad about that swoosh. That's okay. But, you know, not bad. Okay, let's get dressed. Note, you haven't been in an in-person audition in a while. Gentle reminder, deodorant, yes. Perfume, no. It's a small room typically, and you don't know what you're walking into. People have allergies, so it's good to take care of your general scent, but perfume can be really like a lot in the room. Take care of yourself, keep yourself clean and tidy, but ideally perfume is like not a go for in-person auditions. Hot tip, in case you forgot. Okay, we gotta change of clothes. All the dogs are put away in their appropriate places. I got a bag with snacks and water and my computer, and we're off. Like, glamorous. We are done. Callback went great. I will cut this out if I need to, but what I just auditioned for was a cat commercial for Tidy Cats, and I got to actually hang out with a trained cat, which was so cool. They had a clicker and they had treats that they were giving him. And my cat's name was Albert, which is the same name as the cat I auditioned with, which is awesome. If this goes any further, I will share this audition story at some point. But it was so fun, and the cats were so beautiful. It's just like, who would have thought on a random Wednesday you're gonna meet a trained cat? What a gift. Before this audition, I'm right outside of 200 South La Brea. And I had a meeting with some advertisers for One Broke Actress. So I took that meeting from the car, like a real pro. And it was just really easy. Thank God. Like, what did we do before Zoom and stuff? It was really nice to not have to cancel things. I did have to cancel 2 of my daytime meetings to fit this callback in. Something I would have done in my previous life is try to make everything happen in the same day, even though I had a callback or an audition. And even though this wasn't like physically challenging or a lot of mental work for this, there wasn't a lot of lines or anything like that, it still was important to just like clear my day. So I wasn't in a hurry while I was in the room. I was just playing and having a good time. So I think it shows too. I think it shows your energy based on the people you meet. I met 2 actresses in the waiting room. It's so funny because we all looked so much alike. One actress is named Monette, and I followed her on Instagram for so long. She's so cool. Monette, if you happen to see this, hi. I met another actress named Elle, who was so sweet and so kind, and we had like the best chat. And I miss this about in-person auditions so much. This was so nice. So now that meeting is done, audition is done, I have to go run a couple errands, and then I get to go on the SAG podcast. So let's party. SAG parking lot, super fancy. That is terrifying.
Oh, hey, hi, Ben.
We're gonna say hi. Hello. Killed it. You can't hear it, but he's there. Silent Ben. So I'm home, changed into fresh clothes. I actually got home and Caleb and I went down to the pool. I'm making a YouTube video today, so I'm never gonna go sit at the pool.
Wednesday.
Because it's the gore.
Unlikable.
Well, gig workers have small victories. Pay a shit ton in taxes. And now it's time to eat. I went to a Starbucks before the podcast recording, and I got myself a coffee with like a delicious full fat milk because it's just so much better that way. and like a perfect foods bar, because that is just the best combination. So now it's like 3:15 and it's actually time to eat. So this is all kitchen leftovers. We got a bunch of chicken, a bunch of rice, this ginger sauce that you can buy in the fridge section of the supermarket, and then a bunch of leftover veggies from the other night. So lunches are typically like a bunch of leftover shit. So I'm going to eat this, which I'm very excited about. It was perfect. No notes. I made it. So I'm gonna finish eating, and then I have a therapy session, still testing out cerebral, and then I'm gonna get a workout in since I didn't have time to do one this morning. I'm gonna get a run because I have my high rocks competition this weekend, and I need to get in some running, make sure everything is working okay. I've had some Achilles issues, so I've been working on those, and I need to make sure that I'm at a 10. So eat, therapy, workout, and then probably call it a day. Check my email, check my Slack, all that stuff one last time. And I think that's it. I think that's the whole day. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, this is not a normal day at all. This is a super fun random one, but it's cool how this career can kind of end up looking like such a curveball sometimes. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Make sure you're following on all of the social medias, the Instagram, the podcast is kicking, all that good stuff. Do me a favor and subscribe to this channel if you've gotten this far, because we are almost to 1,000 subscribers, which was my first 1,000 on YouTube, and I'm so excited about it, which encourages me to do even more of these type of videos. Comment below if you like this vlog style. I know YouTube says it's not the thing anymore, but I kind of like it, so let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you soon. Editor Sam here with a note on this callback you guys just watched. Actually ended up booking it. Which is so fucking cool that I made a video while I was doing it. That's so rad. So more on that later, but woohoo!